guys, so it is Sunday night. It is about 9:30, I think, almost at night. I've honestly just returned from my parents' house. As you are watching this clip, I just finished wrapping up my Winter Quest vlog, and that was an absolute fail. I did not complete any of the challenges I needed to for the Winter Quest, unfortunately, because I spent the majority of last week sick, and I still kind of am. I'm actually pretty much almost back to normal. I'm 95% back to normal at this point, but now Robert has gotten sick because of me. And this week's gonna be a little weird because I am getting my wisdom teeth out. I have a lot of stuff to do. I have a lot of stuff to take care of before I get my wisdom teeth out on Friday. I have to actually film and edit and upload my House Cupathon announcement and TBR video because we are doing House Cupathon again. We were planning on doing it in November, but unfortunately we didn't have the time to really sit down and figure out what exactly we wanted to do. And because of things like NaNoWriMo and a bunch of other readathons that were happening in November, we decided to push it back because it was going to be a lot easier for all of us to have it pushed back. And so we decided that in January we were going to host the next round of the House Cupathon because, for one, it was going to be the start of a new term, so we thought it was really cool to start off the new term with a readathon. And then on top of that, it would just give us a little bit more time to get some things sorted out. And so actually today, on Sunday, this afternoon, I actually sat down with Adri and Liv, who are two of the other hosts, and we've kind of sat down and figured out exactly how we wanted to do this. It's basically going to be almost the exact same as the trial run that we did in April of 2019, but we are changing it up just a smidge just to kind of give it a real official kind of run. We did the trial run in April to see how things went, and unfortunately the creator of the readathon, Ara, was not able to participate, so it landed really a lot on the other people's shoulders, and so we kind of took the brunt of it and kind of just ran with it and had ideas going, and it didn't turn out exactly the way we wanted to, even though it was a really great attempt, I think. So we've really, I think, ironed out a lot of what exactly we want to do for this round, for the first official round to us. You might consider the first round we did in April the first official run, but to us it was kind of more of a trial run. By the time this video goes out, that will have already gone out more than likely, so you can go check out that video in the description below, and I will leave a card in this video for it. If you would like to join us again for it, I will leave the Discord down in the description for you guys if you'd like to join it. It is completely open to everyone. We are going to be doing reading sprints. We're going to be doing a challenge partway through the month. We are going to be doing a live show at the end of the month once we kind of figure out what's going to work best. We're thinking the last weekend of January, which is either the 25th or the 26th, but we need to figure out a little bit closer to that date what's going to work best for some of us, because we can't quite say whether or not one day is going to work better than the other at this point in time. And that is going to include the trivia game that we did in the last live show for the House Cupathon, which was really fun. I had a great time and was the reason why my team, Team Hufflepuff, pretty much swept up the competition. We were able to just squeak by Ravenclaw in the last round, so I hope that Team Hufflepuff can win it again. I'm counting on you guys. So as you guys may know, if you watched my Winter Quest readathon video, I did not complete the TBR I had for the Winter Quest. I was going to read Nevernight and Smoke in the Sun by Renee Ahdieh. Didn't end up actually even touching Smoke in the Sun. I didn't really even get through all of Nevernight. I didn't even make it halfway through Nevernight, but I do really like that one and I want to continue with it. So I think this week what's going to happen is I'm going to try to complete Nevernight and get started with the random TBR books, which starts with Smoke in the Sun by Renee Ahdieh, which was my March random TBR pick. So I don't know exactly what is going to entail, if I'm going to be able to read both of these, if I'm going to be able to get through more than Smoke in the Sun. That's my plan, that's my hope, but I do have a few things going on this week. I am going to hopefully be seeing one of my friends for the last time, probably before she graduates from college this week. And then Thursday night after work, I am actually going to go back to my parents' house because Friday morning at 9 a.m. I have my wisdom teeth removal, which is going to be an adventure. I do not know how much I'm going to read that day or that weekend, if at all, because I have no idea how much pain I'm going to be in. But what I am actually working through right now, Robert and I decided to start up an audiobook on the way home. Actually getting through Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which is the newer version narrated by Eddie Redmayne. We've already gotten through the first half of it. There's only 40 minutes, I think, left of it. But yeah, that was really fun. We were basically leaving and he's like, I don't really want to listen to music. Can we put on something different, like an audiobook? And I was like, You want to listen to an audiobook? Okay, cool. And he saw that I had Fantastic Beasts checked out from my library, so he wanted to put that one on because he really likes the Fantastic Beasts movies. Like, he loves all the Harry Potter movies about as much as I do, but he really, really loved The Crimes of Grindelwald. He was really impressed with how that one came out, and I have not seen it, but he told me that he thinks that I would really, really like it, and I loved Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them when that first came out. I really loved it. I actually have a gigantic movie poster from when the movie came out, which I will show you right now. So I have this gigantic Fantastic Beasts poster that my younger sister ended up getting for me, I think for either Christmas or my birthday after the movie had come out, because she works in a movie theater. The movie theater basically gets like a bunch of posters and stuff all the time. They get a bunch of stuff for like a bunch of different movies, but because that one was coming out, they had like posters and they had like all kinds of different merch stuff and that you really can't get anywhere else, and you technically can't get these anywhere else, but because she was an employee, she gets like free reign of like the posters and stuff. So she got me one for I think it was my birthday the following year of after Fantastic Beasts had released. So yeah, I have not seen The Crimes of Grindelwald yet, but I heard it was pretty good, and he really wants to sit down and watch it with me because there's a lot of the lore he doesn't quite know because it's been a long time since he's read the books. Like, I think he said something about how he had read them when he was a lot younger but has not read them as an adult, so he doesn't know like all of the lore and stuff that goes on with the story, and especially with like Grindelwald and Dumbledore and how that whole thing happened. And I know pretty much what exactly happened because I read not only Deathly Hallows, but I followed, theories, and I followed the canon that has come out about Harry Potter for years. Like, it's just something I've been obsessed with. So he wants me to sit down with him and watch it and then tell him things about the movie that he has questions about. Like, hey guys, so it's about 7 o'clock on Monday night, and it has been a crazy night, just to say the least. I've been doing 50 million different things, and I still have quite a few to do before I actually go to bed tonight, and before I even actually get to read tonight. But right now, what I decided to do was do my advent calendar for the day. I'm gonna be editing last week's Winter Quest vlog, and hopefully getting that up either tonight or tomorrow. I'll open up day 9 today, so wherever the heck that is down here in the bottom corner. Alright. Oh, it's another sticker! And it's a sticker of platform 9 3/4, so I can get it out of here. Platform 9 3/4. So tonight, as far as like my reading, like I said, I'm not going to be able to actually start reading until probably right before I go to bed. I do want to get to like pretty much the halfway point though, almost, of Nevernight, which is about around like 200 pages. Like, I think the book is like 440 some pages or so, maybe 450. But I want to get to like page 200, and hey guys, so it is currently, I think, almost 6:45 in the evening. I have Elf on right now as I'm getting my presents wrapped up and stuff, but Robert wanted to open up today's advent calendar thing with me, so I opened it up with him, and what we got today was another eraser. This one has the Hufflepuff Badger on it. I think the other one was a Ravenclaw, and I don't think I ever mentioned that, but yeah, I think it was a Ravenclaw eraser. So I really like that this one's kind of based in school supplies, because I always really like getting school supplies, and I always have a need for them, so this is definitely like an advent box that I think is worth it to people that might like getting stationery stuff every now and then. So yeah, so right now I am actually getting my mom's presents all in order. I have just started getting presents wrapped, and I think I'm going to get my mom's done, then Robert's done, and then I have to get my cousins set up, because my family does this thing where each of the cousins gets one of the other cousins to pick for like a secret, not really a Secret Santa thing, but like we get one of the cousins to buy presents for. And then, so I've got those three, I've got my dad, and I have Robert I have to wrap for. So I think I should be able to get it done tonight, and then still even have some time to sit and read for a little bit. But I do have to also edit my House Cupathon announcement and TBR video, but currently my vlog from last week is exporting, so that's going to take some time, and I'm going to be uploading that tonight before I go to bed. So I think I should still be able to get quite a few things done tonight. So it is currently Wednesday. It is about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and I got home today. I showered and I got dishes put in the dishwasher that don't need to be run just yet, but I just put them in there because I needed to empty the dishwasher for basically. And I also poured myself a cup of wine because tomorrow I am working from home, so I don't necessarily need to like actually leave my apartment tomorrow, which makes me really happy because Robert needs to take my car to attend a funeral for a family member. And I would prefer he take my car other than his car because it is not very reliable. My plans for the day are pretty minuscule compared to the last couple days that have been really, really busy. I feel like I've had not a lot of time for reading, even though I feel like I've made pretty good progress so far in Nevernight. And this is one of my big things for tonight, is getting to page 400, which currently I'm on 213. I read about 50 pages both last night and the night before because the last couple days have been really busy, and by the time I got to like 50 pages I was getting really tired. But I am really liking this story so far. It is not going exactly the way I had anticipated it to go. I thought that there would be a lot less of the school aspect that is being used in the story, but I guess I for some reason just didn't assume that we'd get anything with this school other than Mia actually getting to it. But what's really interesting is, like, for the first, I'd say maybe 100 pages or so, we learn a lot about Mia's backstory and how she essentially met the man who is pretty much trained her to prepare for the assassin school. So it was really interesting to see because a lot of her growth as an individual was through her training. And I feel like even with that, the stuff that she's gone through so far in the assassin school has definitely made her grow a lot more, I think, aware of the fact that she needs to really be on her A game because there are so many people that are trying to kill her. And there is also a bit of a serial killer twist with this because apparently somebody is going around and possibly killing off some of the acolytes that are there. It's just really interesting. Like, there's a lot of layers that are going on with just the adventures in the school, and it's really cool. I really like a lot of what Mia has currently gone through and what she's learning about herself and how she's learning to basically become the best that she can be in order to go after the people that destroyed her family. But my big thing too is that I want to get my House Cupathon TBR and announcement video edited, and so I can upload it tomorrow while I'm home, because that was our plan with the announcement, was to hopefully get it out tomorrow. So that should take me probably like a couple hours to edit, and then I'll probably spend the rest of the night working on this, which will be really nice, and having dinner with Robert and stuff like that, and probably going to bed a little later than I normally do because I don't actually have to get up at like 6:30 for work. Like, I can sleep in, I think, for like an extra hour or so. So with that being said, I am going to open up today's advent calendar item, which day 11 is this really long skinny thing right towards the bottom. So I'm gonna say it's either another pencil or it's gonna be something like of that size. Let's see what we got. It is another pencil. Okay, so cool. I like having pencils, so this always makes me really happy to see. So it looks the exact same as the other pencil I have. It also says Alohomora like the other pencil does, so it's pretty cool. I kind of wish though that this might say something different than the other one. Maybe with other advent calendars you get something different, but I kind of wish that if you're gonna have multiple pencils like this, you'd have them say different things. All right, so that's pretty much all I got for right now. Like I said, I will read a lot more of Nevernight. I'm basically gonna be reading like upwards of like 180 some pages, I think, tonight, which is really awesome. I'm gonna be very excited, and I feel like this too is just, it's getting so much easier to read as the further I get, because at the very beginning of the story, things are very complex because we not only have a pretty complex storyline with how the story's set up, where we learn both things about Mia from the past and more present time, and we are trying to also learn about the world that she's involved in, which is a very vast world. It's very complex in itself. It has a lot of history involved with it, which is incredibly helpful to learn through the footnotes. And it's like, for the first 100 pages, I think it's a little confusing here and there, but once you get past the first like 100 pages of the story, you really start to feel like it actually starts to make sense, and things are clearer, and things actually start to become pretty funny. Like, the whole book itself is funny, but I feel like once you pass 100 pages, at that point you've gotten used to the way that the writing style is and the way that the story is set up, and you understand some of the complexities of the world, that it just becomes so much easier to get engrossed in the story. And even after like stepping away from it for like a night and coming back to to it like the next day, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of a gap between the story for me. Like it doesn't feel like I'm having to re-enter the world exactly as complex as it was when I first read it. It definitely feels much more comfortable now and a lot easier to go back into after having put it down since the day before. So that's really good. That tells me that Jay Kristoff has been able to write this in a way that is actually understandable for a lot of people. But it does also show that he's written a world that is incredibly complex, that you have to really think about how it works and some of the things that are involved with it and some of the ways that things go within the world and how the culture is and all these things. So it's not so complex that people can't understand it, but it's complex enough to where people have to really slow down and pay attention to what it is they're reading. So I'm really enjoying the crap out of it. I think that there's so much greatness in it. I haven't really found any flaws other than maybe, I guess, some of the chapter lengths, because I'm a very short chapter kind of person. I don't like really long chapters, and that's a personal thing for me, but to be completely honest, I don't feel like that affects the story that much, so I wouldn't even really say it's a negative in any way. I feel like if you have long chapters, sometimes it can really bog down your story, but I think for this, it's honestly really nice to flow through, because there are actually a lot of breaks within the chapters themselves to where you could take a moment to stop in the middle of a chapter without feeling completely lost when you go back to the story. So I feel like the chapter lengths are pretty fine for what they are. I don't feel like they distract too much from the length of the story, and I feel like the best way to go about it is the way that Jay has, where if you have long chapters, to include multiple scene breaks where it's easy for your reader to be able to take a step back for a minute and be able to recollect what they just experienced, because a lot of times there's action scenes in here where you have to really digest what exactly has gone on, and like especially with some of the ones where there's information divulged about the world or something, or about the character, you got to really be able to sit and like marinate that, if you will. So I feel like it's not even really a negative to say that this has longer chapters, because honestly he does it in a way that makes it easy to go through since he has all those breaks. One other book that I am working on right now is the audiobook for Divine Evil by Nora Roberts. This is, I wouldn't say it's a paranormal in any way. It's got a lot of satanic cult and stuff in it, but this is definitely more of a literary fiction, I guess, kind of story. And because it's not really a romance, it's not really like paranormal in any way, it's kind of just your typical literary fiction with these hints of things here and there. But this follows basically a woman who is an artist. She's kind of like in her late 20s, I would say, maybe early 30s, and she's really big in New York. She comes from a small town though, and is kind of plagued by the memories of her father's suicide when she was 15 years old. And when she kind of gets in an artist block, if you will, she decides to go back to this town despite all these bad memories being there. And with that, she ends up seeing a lot of people that she used to know in the past, one of them being the now sheriff of the town, who was a really good friend of hers for much of her life, and there kind of becomes a little bit of a romantic thing going on between them. But with her moving back to this town too, there comes a lot of problems with this satanic cult that is secretly in this town, because something about her father's past involves the satanic cult. And essentially what I believe happens is that at some point the father was involved with the cult, and the main character had gone to a ritual, like she snuck off and followed him or something, or he brought her to the ritual. I'm not exactly sure how it happened. It's not fully explained as of yet. And she witnessed something that she wasn't supposed to, and it possibly led to her father's eventual death, but she doesn't remember any of it. But the satanic cult is basically trying to stop her from remembering what exactly happened, because it could mean the actual fall of their group. So there's a lot going on with it. I'm not exactly sure if the satanic stuff is accurate for people that are Satanists. I'm not sure. The way that it's written makes it seem like they're really evil, and I have a feeling that that's not exactly true in a lot of the ways that they produce the rituals and stuff. I feel like a lot of what is explained about how the satanic cult does their rituals is really graphic and not at all what I feel like most Satanists would do now. Like, if I have heard anything about Satanist culture, is that they're actually not as evil and vile as most people put them out to be. So I am not sure how exactly accurate this information is, or if it was just playing on the fears of people that know of Satanists and the idea of that they're just evil and sex-filled and lust-filled and they're all about blood and everything, which to some extent is kind of what a lot of it is from what I understand, but it's not the end-all be-all of the religion. So what's interesting though is as I've been listening to this, I'm about halfway through it at this point. I've actually gotten a lot more interested in looking up satanic stuff, like only just for research purposes. Like I want to know more about what exactly some of their rituals are and what their beliefs exactly are, because I feel like one of the big things was like in satanic culture was like you don't make sexual advances to people that are not receptive of them, like you kind of keep your distance. I feel like that was something I saw floating around when a lot of the Me Too stuff started happening, which was really bizarre, but I don't know. I have no idea what any of this is, and so the reason that I want to research more of it is because this book, it makes me feel like that it's not an accurate representation of what exactly Satanist culture is and what this group is supposed to be. Maybe it's kind of your far extremist satanic cult, but the way that it's written kind of makes it seem like this is how every cult that worships Satan is, and it's kind of unnerving in some points because I feel like it's definitely not represented the way that it needs to be, but I don't know. I'm kind of like, I'm on the fence with it. It's really freaking long though. This audiobook is like 16 hours and I'm like trudging through it because all I want to know is how exactly this main character's father is involved with the cult and how it relates to her, and there's like that level of intrigue with suspense and everything. But there's so much in this story. Like there's so much about her career and her getting back on her feet with her career creatively and her romantic interest with the sheriff, and all that stuff is great and everything. This is kind of more of an omniscient narrator where essentially the narrator is involved in everyone's heads and it's not one particular character by any means who is the sole focus of the story. Like we get stuff from both the main character and the sheriff and townspeople that are involved with different things and how they see the town, and people that are involved in the cult, and a young teenage boy who is also involved with the cult that is kind of got his eye on the main character. Like every character in this story has some kind of perspective within it, which is fine, but I'm finding that that is not my most favorite perspective to read from because it can get a little confusing sometimes and it makes it a lot harder to read through the story. But there's just so much involved with this book that I don't even know exactly what could be cut out to make it better, because everything that is involved with it is important to know, but it just feels like it's taking for freaking ever to get to the actual point of the story. So I am kind of sitting at like a 3-star with it at this point, about halfway through the book, I think, in the audiobook. Good morning, everyone. It is now Thursday. It's about 8:45 in the morning, and I've gotten started with my work day today. I started at about 8. Decided to take a little bit of a break to open up my advent calendar, but I do want to let you guys know how my reading went last night first. I didn't read a whole lot of Nevernight. I got curled into bed after having edited my House Cupathon video and made the thumbnail and everything. I haven't uploaded it as of yet, but I'm going to here in a little bit. But then I went and laid down to sit and read Nevernight for a little bit and got probably about, I'd say like 20 pages through it or so. Almost, and I started getting like a really bad headache. I don't know what exactly happened, but it might be because the temperature has steadily like decreased over the last couple days, which tends to give me some pressure headaches, and I think that was what I was dealing with last night, so I couldn't really focus a whole lot after about 20 pages or so, and so I fell asleep, and I realized I fell asleep at like 8:30, but it had felt like so much later, so I ended up actually sleeping like the whole night. Woke up at like 7:45 this morning to get stuff ready so I could start my work day today. But because I am working from home, I don't really have a whole lot that I'm able to do until people like actually start getting their stuff sent to me for work. So I think I'll have a lot of time to sit and read while I wait for them. So that's kind of my plan, is to essentially today basically finish Nevernight, because I was going to get to page 400 last night and finish it up today, but I might just be able to finish it today at some point, whether that's while I'm here at home or when I get back to my parents' house. It's very likely I will read a lot of it today and then have to finish it while I'm at home, which is kind of what I expected, but I don't know. I think that today, though, I should be able to get through it with very minimal things getting in the way of it, other than really work. But once things kind of come in from work, that's when I'll stop reading it. But I don't know how much is going to get done today, because I don't know what all everyone is able to get done, because basically what most of my job is like, I have to wait for people when I send off documents that need to be reviewed before I put them on the website. They have to have the person that sent in the request to have this document made review it. And so that can take anywhere of up to like a day to possibly like a couple weeks, depending on how busy they are. And with the holidays coming up, a lot of people are actually getting ready to leave around now for the holidays. I have no idea how often I'm going to be able to get stuff done today, because I gotta wait for other people to get stuff to me, or I have to wait for new projects to come in for me to start on, kind of thing. So we'll see how that all goes. But since I am taking a little bit of a break, I figured I would open up today's advent calendar. So I am going to take this with me over the weekend while I'm home, because I will be kind of out of commission, but I do want to open up some of these things while I'm around and can possibly film. So I'm going to open up day 12, which is at the bottom. It's, I think, the biggest one that we have on this advent calendar. So I'm pretty excited to see what this is. Oh my God, is this what I think it is? Is this a coaster? Oh my God, it is! It's a coaster, and it's got the Hogwarts house crest on it. Oh my God, this is so cool. Oh, I love that. It's got each of the colors for the houses, and if you guys can see that, it's even got like the little shadow images of each of the house animals on it. Oh my God. But what's really interesting is that on the inside flap of the box that it comes in says, place your hot mug on the coaster for 60 seconds to reveal your house. So that's pretty cool. This might be completely randomized then. My mug is not hot anymore really, but we'll see how that goes. Because my surgery is tomorrow, I do not think I'm gonna like have a lot to be able to say in my videos, but I might have some time to like at least open up box 13. I just don't know if I'm gonna be able to talk at all, because I'm basically gonna be in like a lot of pain and mostly sleeping, I think, throughout the entire day. So as far as what I am gonna take with me this weekend, since I am gonna be leaving, I am gonna take Nevernight so I can finish that up. I will also take Smoke in the Sun with me, because I do want to get that done. And I think I'll take my iPad too, because I think I'll have even enough time to read Jacoby over the course of the weekend. And I think even A List of Cages, which was my May random TBR pick, and maybe even Cinder. I'm going to take quite a few books with me, because if I'm going to be sitting around and doing nothing, I'm going to like take as many books as I can. But I also don't know if I'm necessarily going to be at my parents' house for the entire weekend, and Monday, I don't really know. It's going to depend on how I feel. So I think I might just take everything just in case we stay there for the whole weekend. But I think Robert only wants to be there like tonight and Friday night and maybe part of the day Saturday, and then come back on Saturday. So I really don't know if I'm going to be like sitting and reading all these books at my parents' house, but I'll take them with me just in case we decide to stay. I think it's been 60 seconds. Let's take a look and see if anything pops up on the coaster. And no, it did not. So I think my mug has to be warmer for this to pop up, but that's still a really cool thing if that's actually something that can happen. Maybe another day when I have a hot mug, we'll see if this works. But my coffee's been sitting out for like almost an hour, so it's kind of cooled off, so not a surprise that it didn't work. But hey guys, so it is about 3:45 right now in the afternoon, and I've just finished up work today, so I didn't really have a whole lot of work really to be done during the day, because I think that there's a lot of stuff of people like basically getting ready for the holidays and stuff, so there wasn't a whole lot of work for me to do. So I ended up actually getting through a lot of Nevernight. I ended up getting through 123 pages, I think, today, and I am on currently page 347. So I still have I think a little less than 100 pages left of it, which I probably can finish while I wait for my mom to get here, and maybe even when I get to my parents' house. So far, I'm really giving this like a 5 out of 5 stars, because I have not really found any major flaws with it at any point, and I've honestly felt like there's been a lot of great scenes, like even the really gory scenes that are involved with this book, I'm not getting squeamish with. And maybe that's because I read the Song of Ice and Fire series, which was kind of gory in some parts, so I've kind of now become a little desensitized, which is, I think, pretty good for books at least. I found the infamous blowjob scene that everyone I remember had talked about with Nevernight, and it was interesting to say the least. I will say that Jay knows how to write sex scenes very well. That's all I will say on the matter. So I just got off the phone with my mom, and so she's gonna be here in like about 45 minutes or so. So I gotta get all my stuff packed up, which thankfully isn't a whole lot. Like I just gotta get my backpack packed up with all my stuff I'm taking with me this weekend, electronics wise and books. And then I also have to get my laundry hampers all squared away so I can bring those with me, because Robert basically took the bag that has our clothes and stuff in it for the weekend. But so that's pretty much all I gotta pack, and then I'm just gonna sit around and probably read a little bit more of Nevernight before my mom gets here. So. Good morning, guys. It's Friday. It is about almost 8:40, and I'm getting ready to leave here for my surgery. I'm really nervous. I don't like the idea of surgeries, but this has to be done, so I'm nervous, but I'm ready for it to be done. So it's Saturday now. As you can tell, post-surgery, I'm doing pretty well. Yesterday, I ended up actually not being in too much pain. I ended up coming home and taking my meds I needed pretty much right away. Robert, my sister, and mom really took care of me over the course of the day and making sure I had what I needed. But thankfully, I wasn't really in too much of pain throughout the entire day like I thought I was going to be. Today, I am a little swollen on the left side, but I think that might be because I slept on my side a little bit too much last night. Pretty much all the pain that I had centered on like where my teeth were removed has moved down to like the bottom parts of my gums. So I can't complain. I feel like I've definitely gotten off a lot better than most people that get their wisdom teeth. All I did was I mostly stayed up, but then I did take a nap for like an hour and a half, and I was perfectly fine. So I felt pretty lucky with how mine turned out, considering I had both my bottom teeth impacted, which is not good. Today I do plan on getting through more of Nevernight because I didn't get to do that yesterday, mostly because even though I only slept for like an hour and a half and was fine, I was still pretty tired and didn't really want to do a whole heck of a lot over the course of the day. I'm still about 100 pages away from the end, so I think I can get this done probably this morning before my family and I go do some grocery shopping and stuff like that. We're gonna go check out this new bookstore that is in town that opened up a few weeks ago that I have yet to go check out, so I'm pretty excited. But for right now, I'm gonna open up days 13 and 14 of the Advent calendar. So let's take a look and see where 13 is. They're both at the very top, actually. Oh boy. Okay, so I've shown you guys before I've gotten stickers for Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw as of this point, and today's is Slytherin, and it is also silver foiling, really shiny. Looks really, really cool. Now we have day 14, which is also at the very top. It finishes up the top row of the Advent calendar. Oh, cool. It's another little notebook. Okay, so I also have the Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff little notebooks that come with this. And today's is Gryffindor. It's kind of dark. It's like a really nice maroon with like a dark gold on it. Maybe almost like a tan, I guess. But yeah, just another little notebook like the other two I had. It's lined, so that's pretty neat. So these are the two items for the next couple days in the Advent calendar. So we are now like 11 days until Christmas, which makes me really, really excited. We're getting really close to the single digits, and I can't wait. So, hey guys, so it is Monday now. Holy crap, it is Monday. It's been a whirlwind of a weekend. So on Saturday, I ended up finishing Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. I'm gonna try to be quick about this because I'm still in a little bit of tenderness and slight pain from my surgery on Friday, but I did finish Nevernight by Jay Kristoff, and I really, really loved it. I honestly gave it like a 5 out of 5 stars immediately because from beginning to end, I found that the story was just absolutely wonderful. I really grew to like Mia a lot, despite how not negative necessarily she is, but she is very negative. But just I felt like I really grew to understand her a lot better than I thought I would, considering that much of the story was going into her backstory and how exactly she got to be where she is, where she's going to the Red Church. And even from that, the kinds of things that she has to deal with, the constant questioning of whether or not she really belongs in the Red Church and whether or not she's doing the right things for what she has, you know, been meaning to do. But along the way, she makes some really good friends, one of them being Trick, who is a really wonderful, wonderful character. I absolutely adore him, and there is a little bit of a romance that goes on between the two of them, but it's nothing like super serious, which kind of I think delves more into Mia's character as like how very closed off she is to a lot of people, but how somebody like Trick can still kind of get to her at some points, which I really liked. I felt like it gave her a lot of depth for the sake of showing that she's not a completely flat character and she does have feelings, but she's still so focused on what she needs to do and what she feels like she has to do with her life that it kind of takes over in a lot of ways. So I really did love this book. I'm so excited that I actually was able to get through the first one because I've been meaning to get through this series for a very, very long time, and I truly enjoyed my entire time reading it. I'm very excited to hopefully get to God's Grave. Hopefully at some point I'm gonna add it to my series wrap up series that I'm gonna do because I do want to get through other series, but this one is kind of more higher up on one of the ones that I think I would be most excited to get back to, because especially with Dark Dawn having been sent out in September and that being the culminating end of the story, I need to know what happens to Mia, because the ending of this book really has me questioning what exactly is her next move given what happens at the end of this book, which was very satisfying for me in a lot of ways. So I finished that Saturday, and then Sunday I kind of wasn't feeling the best because, again, since post-surgery I've been, you know, on a lot of medication and stuff. I think I was just so tired from, you know, having been in the surgery. My brain was kind of just tired. I go back to work tomorrow, which I'm not excited about because I just don't want to go back to work. I just want to stay home and sleep. But yeah, so Sunday we basically got back here at like 2:30, 3 o'clock, and I fell asleep. I was so tired. I was really cranky, so I took a nap until about 5:30, 6 o'clock almost, and then pretty much just sat and did nothing. So I haven't really read anything else since finishing Nevernight, but I am next going to be working on Smoke in the Sun by Renee Ahdieh, as this is one of my random TBR picks for the month, and I'm doing a random TBR catch-up, if you will. I have no idea how this next week will go because while I am not necessarily doing anything this next week, I am, you know, getting back to work and stuff, so I don't know how invested I'm gonna be with reading and everything. I also have to get this vlog out, which I'll probably be working on this mostly during the day Monday and put off reading this until probably after dinner. Also need to sit and do some planning because I need to do some reconfiguring with my reading stuff. I think this coming weekend, which is the weekend before Christmas, I am not going to do anything. I think Robert and I are going to stay home because for the last month or so, every weekend we have had something to do, and so we need a bit of a break. So I think this coming weekend I'm going to spend a lot of time just relaxing, and hopefully the rest of this week goes by pretty quickly for that, because since I'm only working 4 days this week technically, I just really hope that it kind of moves by quickly because I don't want to feel like I'm going to be sitting for ages at work. Let me know what you guys are reading currently. Let me know how you guys are faring. If you are excited for the coming holidays. If you are not celebrating any of the holidays, let me know what you guys have planned for the coming weeks because I'd like to know. I know that not everyone celebrates Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or anything, so if you're not celebrating anything like that, let me know what you guys are just doing in general because I'd like to know what you guys might be reading and what you're preparing for. If you're going to partake in the House Cupathon, let me know because I'd love to hear anything you guys have to say or any questions you guys might have. We've already gotten some really great questions about, you know, how things are going to go with the readathon. We've got a couple people that have joined the Discord, which I will leave a link for it again in this video if you guys would like to check it out. If you guys did enjoy this video, please do give it a big thumbs up, and if you're not already and you'd like to be, hit that button down below and subscribe to become an owlet in our flock, and I will see all of you guys in my next video. Bye guys.